reviewing the investigative report a second time, and the length of time of these allegations, and imagine the trauma that may have been imposed on these kids if these allegations are in fact true, given the extended period of time, the familiar relationship. I am going to side and adopt the argument of Mr. Ragnon and per MCR 6.106. I think the presumption of guilt is great in this matter, and therefore I'm going to remand Mr. Croft into custody of Wayne County Jail while this case is pending. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, everybody.
Afternoon.
I haven't seen you in a minute. How are you?
Judge, how are you? Your Honor, I should say. How are you?
I'm wonderful. How's your holiday?
Really good. Even better after my beloved Wolverines, after the holiday, gave me a belated Christmas gift.
Oh, okay. Did you steal any signs?
Nah.
You want to? Are you talking about?
We had what we needed.
And for a minute, I thought Ann Arbor was in East Lansing. All those fires.
Oh no! You stopped that. You saw the police response on that. They were very pleased with the reaction.
Wait.
Oh no! After the first and second fire, what you talking about?
They were pleased with it. The fire department as well said it would be futile to investigate it, and they were generally pleased with the way the students reacted and the manner in which they decided to let those fires go.
Okay. After you started, so that's after the U of M press release. But you know what happened. But congratulations. I guess it's great to be a Michigan Wolverine.
Hey, listen, if it's not this, let it be the Wolverines. If not this, let it be our Wolverines.
Okay, all right.
For the rest of the black line. Baby. Clayton. Gerald Lavelle Croft.
Okay, sir, state your name.
Gerald Lavelle Croft.
All right, calling case number 240-551-8301. People said Michigan versus Gerald Croft. Appearances, please.
Samuel A. Ragnan for the people, Your Honor.
And Ryan Murad, PA 3665, on behalf of Mr. Croft, we waive the formal reading. Mr. Croft stands mute. He's been advised of his constitutional rights.
Court will enter not guilty plea on behalf of Mr. Croft. Argument as to bond, Mr. Ragnon.
Yeah,
before we proceed, is this a, hold on, Mr. Ragnon, is this a remandable, I believe this is a remandable offense, is that correct?
Yes, CSC 1.
Okay, go ahead, Mr. Ragnon.
Pursuant to MCL 6.106 here, we are asking for a remand in this case. It's a very disgusting, troubling incident that involves a 5- and 6-year-old girl all the way to the time when she was 11 years old. Well, this man had forced sexual intercourse on her on numerous occasions. In the kids' talk that is in the investigator's report, she goes through and enumerates the many incidents where that happened. The first time was, she said, was when she was 5 or 6 years old, and that the complainant said that it was against her will. He put his private part as complainant stated, I was 5 or 6 years of age. In December one night, he told me to come downstairs and lay on the purple blue reversible blanket. He forced the complainant, and before he penetrated the complainant's
Mr. Ragnar, I have a question.
Yes.
I have a question. This occurred between the ages, she was 5 years to what, 12 or 11?
It says here 5 years, she said I was 5 or 6 years old, but the last time was when she was 11 years old. And that's when she went to Kids Talk here on, I believe.
And so if I remember correctly, this was over that time period, over multiple residences in the city of Detroit. Is that correct?
Yes, at his house.
And is this her biological uncle?
She's married, yes.
Okay. Anything else you want to add, Mr. Ragnar?
No, Your Honor, it just breaks your heart to see what's happened to this young lady, that she had to now go through all these things. The interview at Kids Talk took place when she was 12. So, Your Honor, we're asking for remand. He has a pending case right now, which I don't think makes any difference whatsoever, but he has been bound over on assault with a dangerous weapon on 12/5/23. But, you know.
What was the bond on that case?
I don't have any idea. This case is so bad.
Okay.
And so
I get the gist of it, Mr. Ragnar.
Thank you.
I get the gist of your argument. Mr. Rod?
So, Your Honor, Mr. Croft is 39 years old. He's a life resident here in the city of Detroit. He does have a criminal history, Judge, but I don't see any assaultive convictions used to habitualize him on this notice. The most recent conviction I'm aware of is from 2010 that was non-assaultive. The other ones are 2002, 2004. Those are both non-assaultive. He indicates, Judge, that he is gainfully employed here in the city of Detroit at the Layla restaurant. He indicates that he makes $1,500 a month, but with supporting his dependents, putting him well within the guidelines. He does live with his mother, Your Honor. Judge, you know, I heard the allegations. I see the investigator's report, but we're all a part of a system where we all understand that Mr. Croft is presumed innocent. And I understand the allegations in this report are egregious, but there are different procedures that happen that either corroborate or don't corroborate these allegations. And we have to remember how early we are in this stage to start deeming him, you know, some of these things without, you know, really, Judge, you know, the evidence that's going to be used against him here is testimonial evidence. I didn't see much else besides testimonial evidence. So there are a lot of questions that come out in these types of cases. You know, is there some sort of familial issue? Is there some sort of issue with him and this parent? We don't know. So for all these reasons, Your Honor, and most importantly for the lack of capious history, I'm going to ask the court to do a high cash bond. Now, I understand that a high cash bond means that he's not going to get out regardless, but at least it's going to give some more time for these investigations to happen, for facts to come to the light, and for Mr. Reagan to argue this with with the Honorable Judge McConicle at redetermination. So that's what I'm going to ask the court to do, Judge, a high cash bond to give him a chance for an argument at redetermination.
Your Honor, if I just may respond briefly.
No, Mr. Ragnar. Mr. Ragnar, I've heard all the arguments. I'm ready to rule.
Thank you.
The court haven't heard the argument as to bond. Upon first review of the facts of this case, my initial thought was a high cash bond, as Mr. Murad indicated. But upon reviewing the investigative report a second time, and the length of time of these allegations, and imagine the trauma that may have been imposed on these kids if these allegations are in fact true, given the extended period of time, the familial relationship, I am going to side and adopt the argument of Mr. Ragnar and per MCR 6.106. I think the presumption of guilt is great in this matter, and therefore I'm going to remand Mr. Croft into custody of the Wayne County Jail while this case is pending. Next court date, probable cause, January 19th, criminal examination, January 24th, 1:45 p.m. No contact with the complaining witness, Ms. Ashlyn Outley. Any questions regarding bond and or court dates?
Who's the judge of record, Your Honor?
Judge King.
Thank you, Judge. Nothing further at this time.
Nothing further, Your Honor. Thank you.
So what do I do from here? I'm saying I can't get a bond.
So right now they denied.
I have two witnesses.
So Mr. Croft, right now they denied your bond. I don't want you to say anything else. I just want you to listen. They denied your bond. but you're gonna get this reviewed back on the 19th. So you have a couple more days where you're gonna get this reviewed. I don't want you to say anything else. It's best if you really don't make any other statements. This will get picked back up on the 19th for another look, okay? You're all set, sir. Go ahead and see the next person.
Black man say you put your name. Say your name. Robert Anderson.
All right, Mr. Anderson, you got some traffic matters we got to address first before we call your main matter. You have these tickets in which you failed to appear in court for, sir. As a result of your failure to appear, warrants for your arrest were issued. The court's going to set aside, those arrest warrants, give you a personal bond in each of these misdemeanor matters that carries a maximum penalty of up to 93 days in jail and or a $500 fine. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You have a right to an attorney. You can afford an attorney. One will be appointed on your behalf. Is that clear, sir? Is that clear, sir?
Yes.
All right, the tickets in question are P1055690, driver license not valid, January 12, 2020. Ticket P1138627, driving unregistered motor vehicle, driver license expired, no insurance misdemeanor, November 28, 2020. Ticket P1217687, driver license suspended, June 22nd, 2021. Ticket P988001, driver license suspended, July 12, 2020. Again, as I indicated, personal bond on all these tickets, your next court date, February 14th, Valentine's Day, 1:30 p.m., courtroom 533. Is that clear?
Yes.
All right, now to your main matter. Calling case number 240-551-8501. People City, Michigan versus Robert Anderson. Appearances, please.
Jennifer Douglas for the people, P72748.
And Brian Murad, PA3665. On behalf of Mr. Robert Anderson, we waive the formal reading. Mr. Anderson stands mute. He's been advised of his constitutional rights.
All right, the court will not guilty plea on behalf of Mr. Anderson. Argument, Ms. Douglas.
Yes, Your Honor. The people have no objection to a $50,000 personal bond here. While there was a firearm found, this was non-assaultive. There was a large amount of drugs found. However, a big chunk of it was marijuana. So there's no threat of physical danger to the public. There's no indication that there is a flight risk. So we have no objection to $50,000 personal.
No objection.
Court will adopt the recommendation of people, $50,000 personal bond. While this case is pending, sir, no drugs, no handguns in your possession. Is that clear?
Yes.
Probable cause, January 24th. Preliminary examination, January 31st, in front of Judge Sabri. Any questions regarding your bond and or court dates? If not, step aside.
Thank you, Your Honor.
How y'all doing? No, stand up. Oh, I'm sorry.
What's your name, sir?
Dylan Smith, Dylan Marie Smith, son.
Calling case number 24044073001. Police City, Michigan versus Dylan Marie Smith. Appearances, please.
Jennifer Douglas for the people, P72748.
And Ryan Murad, PA3665. On behalf of Mr. Dylan Smith, we waive the formal reading. Mr. Smith stands mute. He's been advised of his constitutional rights.
Court will enter not guilty plea on behalf of Mr. Smith. Argument, Ms. Douglas.
Your Honor, the people don't have an objection to a $10,000 personal bond here. We would also ask for a no contact provision. I'm not sure what the living situation is. I know the report has them at different addresses, but then it has the assault at a different address from those. But we would ask for no contact.
No objection to the people's recommendation. I'd ask you to adopt it. And with regard to the rest of the-
I'm sorry.
Yes, Judge. He's working at Bridge. I'm sorry. He's at Bridgewater, Judge, but I think he may.
Go ahead.
Sorry, Judge. I think he's at Bridgewater, but he may have just been laid off. And I just, to shed some light on the residents, it's our position that Mr. Smith resides at the Farmbrook address and that Ms. Hawkins resides at the Phillip Street address. So I don't believe that they share residence in this particular matter.
Ms. Douglas, does Mr. Smith have any criminal history?
Not that I'm aware of, Your Honor.
Okay, the court's going to adopt the recommendation of the people, $10,000 personal bond. While this case is pending, Mr. Smith, you're not to possess any handguns, firearms, or other dangerous weapons. No contact with the complaining witness. No contact means just that. No phone calls, text messages, emails, handwritten letters or notes through a third party, through social media. Is that clear?
Yes, sir. I have one question.
What's your question, sir?
I have kids.
Third party child exchange, Your Honor, if that's okay.
Okay, I want to get to that in a moment. No contact with the Phillip address where this alleged incident occurred. Any children exchanges have to be a third party, a relative, your mother, father, anybody, not through you. Is that clear, sir? No contact means just that.
Yes, sir.
Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
All right, pretrial court date January 23rd in front of Judge Garrett. You have no further questions. You can step aside, sir.
Thank you, Your Honor.
My bad. Yeah, I get it. That's what.
Say your name.
What's your name, sir? What's your name?
Deontay Shields.
All right, calling case number 240-551-8601. People said Michigan versus Dante Shields. Appearances, please.
Samuel A. Ragnan for the people, Your Honor.
Ryan Marat, PA 3665. On behalf of Mr. Dante Shields, we waive the reading. Mr. Shields stands mute. He's been advised of his rights.
All right, the court in one not guilty plea on behalf of Mr. Shields. Given the nature of the offense, lack of criminal history, ties community, any objection to a personal bond?
Oh, Your Honor, we were going to ask for a $10,000 personal bond.
Ask the court to adopt that.
Court, Mr. Shields, the court's going to give you $10,000 personal bond. While this case is pending, you're not to possess any handguns, firearms, or other dangerous weapons. Is that clear, sir?
Yes.
Probable cause January 19th in front of Judge Kevin Robbins. Preliminary examination January 26th in front of Judge Giles. Any questions regarding your bond and/or court dates?
No.
Have a good day.
Well, what the heck is 15?
State your name.
First name Paris, last name Esters.
Good afternoon, Mr. Estes. You got some traffic matters first, which you failed to appear. The court issued a warrant for your arrest for these traffic matters. The court's going to set aside those arrest warrants, give you a personal bond in each of these misdemeanor matters that carries a maximum penalty of up to 93 days in jail and or a $500 fine. You have a right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You have a right to an attorney. You can afford an attorney one way we appoint on your behalf. Is that clear, sir?
Sir, I wasn't clear on the bond part. I wasn't clear on what you were saying.
Warrants for arrest were issued for your failure to appear for these tickets. The court's going to set aside those arrest warrants, give you a personal bond in each of these misdemeanor matters that carries a maximum penalty of up to 90 days in jail and or a $500 fine. Is that clear?
3665. On behalf of Mr. Paris Esters, we waive the reading. Mr. Esters stands mute. He's been advised of his rights.
Court not guilty plea on behalf of Mr. Esters. To the nature of the offense, lack of criminal history, ties community. Any objection to a personal bond?
Your Honor, people have no objection to a $5,000 personal.
No objection.
Rod? Mr. Rod?
No objection. Yeah, no objection, Judge.
All right. The court will adopt the recommendation. $5,000 personal bond while this case is pending, sir. You're not to possess any handguns, firearms, or other dangerous weapons. Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
Probable cause January 19th in front of Judge Kevin Robbins. Preliminary examination January 26th in front of Judge Jefferson. Do you have any questions?
No, sir.
Have a good day.
What's your respect, sir?
Black man, for you complete name, please.
Give me one moment. Give me one moment, please. All right, state your name for the record, sir.
David Crosby.
Call case number 240-551-8901. People City, Michigan versus David Crosby. Appearances, please.
High cash bond with the tether. Home arrest.
Samuel A. Ragnan for the people, Your Honor.
And Ryan Marat, PA 3665, on behalf of Mr. David Crosby, waive the formal reading. Mr. Crosby stands mute. He's been advised of his rights.
Court order not guilty plea on behalf of Mr. Crosby. Argument, Mr. Ragnan.
Your Honor, the defendant was convicted of the same offense he's charged with today of carrying concealed weapon back on August 15th, 2022. So now we have him being arrested for the same offense, and we're going to ask for a high cash bond, well, $75,000 personal bond, but we would like to ask for a GPS tether with home arrest. Thank you.
Judge, on behalf of Mr. Crosby, I'd indicate that he's 37 years old, a life resident, no assaultive history that I'm aware of. He's gainfully employed at Chantine's Barbershop. He's earned a GED in the community. He resides with his girlfriend. He has 2 children where he's a life resident. Judge, no capious history. I know that he has priors, but I think that he sees those through. I don't think that he or disregards any court orders. I would just ask the court to consider personal bond here. I don't think there's been any mention of danger or any mention of flight risk. I don't see a need for a GPS tether here. Personal bond, obviously no firearms, and we'll let the facts play out.
Is he a barber?
Are you a barber, Mr. Crosby?
Yes.
All right. Yes. $75,000 personal bond. No weapons. I know you may have a proclivity for disregarding court orders for no weapons, but no weapons, sir. Is that clear?
I understand you, sir.
January 24th, probable cause. January 31st, preliminary examination, both in front of Judge Sabri. Any questions regarding your bond and or court dates?
No, sir.
Have a good day.
Thank you, Rob.
Thank you.
Better step on the black line, station name of the judge.
Angela Work.
Can you repeat that, sir?
D'Angelo Workman.
Mr. Workman, calling case number 240-551-8801. People City, Michigan versus D'Angelo Workman. Appearances, please.
Jennifer Douglas for the people, P72748.
And Ryan Marat, PA 3665, on behalf of Mr. Workman, we waive the formal reading. Mr. Workman stands mute. He's been advised of his constitutional rights.
Court order not guilty plea on behalf of Mr. Workman. Argument, Ms. Douglas.
Your Honor, the people are asking for a remand in this matter. This is a second-degree homicide, so it's a remandable matter pursuant to MCR 6.106. Your Honor, here we think that remand is appropriate because there is a danger to the public. The alleged motivation here is that Mr. Workman became upset when someone was wrestling or fighting with his god brother, Your Honor. And at least just based on the allegations, that seems to have been the entire motive, this entire provocation. So, Your Honor, we have a concern that if Mr. Workman were to become angry in the future, that there could be further violence. Here he's accused of shooting someone in the neck. There are two witnesses who both indicated that they had witnessed it. One of them was able to identify Mr. Workman from a double-blind photo array. We would point out that one of the witnesses was able to describe the firearm used in detail, and a witness indicated that Mr. Workman regularly carried a firearm. There's no indication that a firearm was actually recovered, Your Honor, so we have a concern that there's still a firearm out there that Mr. Workman may have access to. He does have multiple prior convictions, Your Honor.
He's a habitual fourth, yeah. Yes.
Yeah, so for whatever reason, not all of his convictions are on there. I know that some of them are on there. He has a 2019 RCSP motor vehicle second offense. He was discharged from probation on that August of 22. He has a 2002 felonious assault. He has a 2002.
Let me interrupt you, Ms. Douglas. Was he on probation or parole on the date of offense?
No,
Was
Your
that,
Honor.
Okay.
Here,
He
his
was
date of
not.
offense. No, Your Honor. This is Christmas Eve that this homicide is supposed to take place on. Christmas Eve, but he was discharged from his latest conviction August 6th of 2022. But he does have an extensive criminal history. Part of it.
I noticed that. Yes. You don't have to go through these. I'm well aware of it. Yeah.
So, Your Honor, we believe that there is that danger there, and that's why we're asking for that remand.
Okay. Thank you, Ms. Douglas. Mr. Rod.
Judge, I'm here for Mr. Workman. He's 47 years old. Nothing against him pending now. He's not on any probation or parole right now. I know that he's receiving government assistance as his only means of income. Judge, he does have some family here in the community. He has a stable residence in the community where he's a life resident. Your Honor, I think a lot of the allegations describe some sort of familial dispute. Mr. Workman's side of the story has not come out yet. He's still presumed innocent. There are still stages. You know, we're not sentencing him by giving him a bond. Is this somebody who should be in society? And I think that this case, with regard to Mr. Workman, I think I did hear a mention of an assaultive prior from 2002, but it's not on the notice, but I don't know of anything else that's assaultive in his history. And I don't have any capious history. And everything tells me he finished his probation and has been abiding by court orders. I don't know what happened on Christmas Eve. I don't think any of us do. But the question is this somebody who's going to show up to court? Well, he has in the past. Is this somebody who's going to be a danger to the community? There's an FA from 2002, but that's all we got. That's assaultive. With that, Judge, I'm going to ask the court for a high cash bond. It's still a homicide second. I know the court's not inclined to do a personal bond here, but for the same reasons, I'm going to ask for a high cash bond. Let these facts flush out. Let the investigators do their job. I know this is only a few weeks ago, and for those reasons, Judge, I think a cash bond would be appropriate in lieu of remand.
Your Honor, may I say one thing?
No, I'm ready to rule. Court having heard argument as to bond.
May I say something, Your Honor?
No, sir, absolutely not. If there's one thing you can trust, it's trust me on this one. Don't say anything, okay?
Court having heard argument as to bond. The court having reviewed the investigator's report, and what the one little item in the investigator's report that the court found particularly troubling was that, notwithstanding his long-standing criminal history, habitual fourth notice and several convictions, he was not eligible to possess a firearm. And then in the report, one of the witnesses says that Mr. Workman regularly carries a firearm, notwithstanding his being a convicted felon. So that's part one. And then when emotions run high on a holiday and he gets in the mix or whatever, and I don't know, the facts will flush out. I don't know whether it's accidental or shooting or defense of others. I don't know yet. The facts will all come out. But he shoots, if the report indicates he cocks it and shoots it. shoots a firearm, and someone is dead as a result. So I believe he's a danger to the community, given the fact that he likes to carry a handgun on him, per one of the witnesses. And given arguably his hot temper, based on allegations in this report, I think he's a danger. He doesn't appear to be able to control his emotions. And coupled with that, with a handgun, that invites itself for a deadly situation, which is what we exactly have here. So I believe there is a great presumption of guilt in this matter. I understand Mr. Rod's point. He's presumed innocent, but I think there's a great deal of evidence pointing towards guilt, given the eyewitnesses. So the courts will remand Mr. Workman to the Wayne County Jail during the pendency of this case. His next court date will be probable cause, January 19th, preliminary examination, January 25th. Mr. Workman, do you have any questions now?
Yes. I was staying at the house at 15700 Pinehurst. I was paying my landlord rent, and he wasn't actually the landlord, so they gave us a notice.
Hey, Mr. Workman. Hey, Mr. Workman.
Mr. Workman, that's a statement. Do you have a question?
Why am I being held remanded? I didn't shoot anyone. I didn't shoot no one. I wasn't even in my house.
Did you listen to Mr. Workman? Did you listen to your attorney, and did you listen to the prosecutor? But more importantly, did you just listen to me?
Yes, you said I was in danger.
Okay, so now you know why.
But I never
You did
fired
pay
a weapon.
attention. Have a good day, sir. Have a good day.
My name is Dwayne.
What's your name, sir?
Dwayne.
All right, this is Attorney General case. Calling case number 230-604-1101. Vincent Miskin versus Dwayne Blackburn. Appearance, Mr. Murad.
Ryan Murad, PA 3665. On behalf of Mr. Dwayne Blackburn, we waive the reading. Mr. Blackburn stands mute. He's been advised of his rights.
The court entered not guilty plea on behalf of Mr. Blackburn. Argument as to good cause is the why you should get a personal bond, Mr. Murad.
Judge, despite his gainful employment as a waiter, he's still well within the 200% of the poverty guidelines. He's unable to even post a monetary bond at all. I think that on its own should suffice as good cause, and accordingly, I'd ask the court to put 25% of the arrearages in a personal bond on this on behalf of Mr. Blackburn.
What's 25% of the amount? I didn't major in math. What, like $1,500 or so?
Let's go with it.
Okay, let's go with that. $1,500 personal bond.
Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor. I'm sorry, did you already give the court dates?
February 28th, March 6th, both in person in front of Judge Prentice Edwards.
At the Frank Murphy Hall of Justice.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome.
Okay. Thank you.
I got some here too.
President King.
It's another Attorney General case, calling case number 220-607-3101. Consider Miskin versus Frederick King. Mr. Murad, appearance, please.
Ryan Murad, PA 3665. Again, Mr. Frederick King. We waive the reading. Mr. King stands mute. He's been advised of his rights.
Okay. Argument is a good cause is why to get a personal bond.
Judge, he's not employed at this time, has no income, definitely within the poverty guidelines, is still residing with his mother. For those reasons, I believe good cause is present. I'd ask for personal bond and 25% of the arrearages, which is 25% of 13K.
I got it. I got it.
Okay.
I got approximate amount. I know you're a walking calculator.
No way.
All right, Mr. King, $4,000 personal bond. February 28th, March 6th, your court dates in front of Judge Prentice Edwards and Frank Murphy, all the justice. Any questions regarding bond and or court dates?
No, sir. You said personal bond, right?
All right, yeah, personal bond. Give me one moment.
You need a word
I'm good.
Yeah, man.
Record. All right. EDC, last one, Stanley Abula.
Yes, just a moment.
Okay.
Mother. Was he, you know what? He was, yeah.
Okay, you got to move it right now.
Yeah. It's right here.
What's your name, sir?
Stanley Abula. Last name is pronounced A-B-U.
Call case number 240-551-9001. People said Michigan versus Stanley Abula. Appearances, please.
Samuel Ragnan for the people, Your Honor.
And Rad Marad, PA 3665. I'm here for Mr. Stanley Abula. We waive the reading. Mr. Abula stands mute. He's been advised of his rights.
All right, the court will not guilty plea on behalf of Mr. Abula. Argument as to bond. Before you go to your argument, Mr. Ragnan, does Mr. Abula have a criminal history that you're aware of?
Well, he was arrested on January the 10th for felonious assault. I don't know what happened with that. 2024. But I don't believe he does. I don't believe he does.
Okay. All right, go ahead to your argument, Mr. Ragnan.
Well, Your Honor, I'm sure you've read the investigator's report, and I'm not going to go through it. It's a very long, tedious matter where this man terrorized this complainants for almost a full year. In fact, for more than a year, from 11/3/2023, to 12/1/23. So I take that back. But the point I'm trying to make, Your Honor, is the consistent terrorizing Instagram accounts, the saying, you know, you're on video, the saying, I know I'm going to put you of having sex with your boyfriend on camera. I'm going to expose it to the world, and terrorizing, telling her he's going to kill her. He's going to kill her mother, and so on. And then, instead of going through all the instances for all that period of time, which are many, okay, he's interviewed on 1/10/23. And he admits everything that he did. And he says he was just trolling her. And the officer asked him.
Mr. Ragnan, my understanding is that he lived next door to them. And my understanding is now that the complaining witnesses have since moved from that place. That's my understanding.
They end up having to move out, yes.
Right.
Because of his of what he did, stalking her.
And terrorizing, yes.
Terrorizing.
So what's the bond you're asking for?
Well, Your Honor, I'm asking for $150,000 cash bond, GPS tether with home arrest if he's able to post bond. Putting someone in, I think it's a very serious
I get to,
matter.
Mr. Ragnan, I understand your argument, and it's very, very unnerving to have a neighbor basically terrorize you and stalk you, harass you. Based on these are very serious allegations. I get that, and it drove the complaining witness to eventually move out. Nobody deserves to live in that type of terror. I get your argument.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay, Mr. Murad, your argument. Before we go, Mr. Murad, is your client a student at Wayne State?
No.
Okay, go ahead with your argument, Mr. Rod.
Thank you. I'm sorry, one more.
Yeah.
So, Judge, on behalf of Mr. Abulu, the court's already aware, no criminal history here, no pending matters, no history of any sort of probation at all or parole or anything like that. He's gainfully employed at a local grocery store here in Midtown. And he's been residing in West Bloomfield, Judge. He's a high school graduate from Country Day High School. I know that he's got strong ties. He does have some family in the community as well. Now, Judge, I understand the allegations are serious, and I think that there's a bond that the court can craft here to sort of take care of everybody on every side, and that's a GPS tether bond. Even though the allegations are computer, even though the allegations are not assaultive, and he doesn't have a capious history or a flight risk, if the court's aware that the complaining witnesses has moved, the court can confine him to his home while this case is pending. I'd ask the court to, obviously, his presumption of innocence should give him the benefit of the doubt. His lack of capious history should give him the benefit of the doubt. And if there is allegedly a confession, which we're not conceding to, but I think that goes to show cooperation. And really, if he were to plead, we got to consider what his guidelines would be. Would this be probationable? Maybe it would be, if found guilty, and we're a long way from that. So for all those reasons, Judge, I'm going to ask for a personal bond, and I would not object to any home confinement. I ask for work only, but I wouldn't object to any home confinement GPS test.
You said what? He works?
He does, Judge. He does.
What are his work hours?
Yeah. Go ahead, Mr. Abulu. Tell us your work hours and the days of the week that you work.
Okay. Well, I work Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I'm part-time. And in regards to earlier, Wayne State, I'm planning on...
Not in regards to earlier. Listen to me. Not in regards to earlier. Yeah. The days of the week you work and the hours you work. That's it.
Yes, sir. I work Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Friday, 8 to 4. Saturday, Sunday, 2 to 10.
What do you do?
I'm just a grocery team member.
When did you graduate from Country Day?
I graduated Country Day 2020.
Did you ever go to college?
Yeah.
Where?
Can I
go ahead. Just tell me where you went to college.
Go ahead. Okay. It's okay.
Western Michigan University, and then later transferred to Wayne State. I'm planning to register in classes actually yesterday after all this happened.
Listen, when was the last time you were a registered student at Wayne State?
Last winter or fall.
Of what year?
Last year, 2023.
All right. Court have heard argument as the bond. $50,000 personal bond. GPS tether, 10 p.m. to 6 a.m. curfew. No use of computers. It's not going to be an order of the court, but I would strongly encourage you to re-enroll in school. You seem like a bright man, and if the allegations in this report are true, it doesn't sound like you're being stimulated enough if you're allegedly trolling your neighbors. You need to occupy your mind, go to school, and not and involve yourself in these trifling affairs.
Yes,
you
sir.
went to a great school. It appears you have a great mind. Use it.
Yes, sir.
You're too smart to be allegedly engaged in this type of activity. This silly activity.
I totally agree, sir.
I'm going to give you a personal bond, 10 p.m. to 6 a.m. curfew, no use of computers. Probable cause, January 24th, preliminary examination, January 30th, both in front of Judge Giles. Any questions regarding your bond and or court dates?
You said 50,000. Can I ask what?
Personal, that means you don't have to pay any money. You don't pay any money.
Okay. Sorry, sir. I'm just confused about that.
It's okay. You're okay.
All right. Have a good day.
Likewise.
All right. We ready for the female side?
Thank you.
Ready.
Oh, I think we have one more. Add-on as a judge. Epperson.
Two add-ons are from Macomb. They're in Macomb County.
Oh, okay. All right.
Hi, is Mr. Ragnar available?
Yes, I am, Your Honor. I am. Thank you.
Oh, we're waiting on you.
I appreciate it. Thank you. I was here for a second, and then you got it. So I appreciate it.
Ma'am, Wayne, jail, what's your name, ma'am?
Alicia Denise McCray.
Calling case number 2404407-201, Peterson, Michigan versus Alicia McCurry. Appearances, please.
Samuel A. Ragnan, Your Honor, for the people.
And Ryan Murad, PA 3665, on behalf of Miss Alicia McCray, we waive the reading. Ms. McCray stands mute. She's been advised of her rights.
The court will deny guilty plea on behalf of the client. Argument, Mr. Ragnan.
Your Honor, this has involved a fight between two people. They got into a fight. They were tussling, as the complainant said. Items were broken, glass, and so on. The complainant got pinned down on the ground. When she was able to flee, when the police arrived, she told the police that that she had blood coming from a cut on her mouth, from being hit in the mouth. She also had braces on, which may have helped bleeding. But Your Honor, we're asking for a $25,000 personal bond with no contact. We think because of the potential of the knife situation and the threat, that's why we're asking for $25,000 personal bond.
$25,000 personal bond, no contact. Is that correct?
Yes.
Any prior criminal history, pending matters, they don't live together. I'd ask the court to adopt the people's recommendation.
$25,000 personal bond, ma'am. No contact with the complaining witness. No contact means just that. No phone calls, text messages, emails, through social media, through a third party. You can't have any contact with the Freud address where this alleged incident occurred. Your next court date, pretrial, January 23rd, in front of Judge Garrett. You have any questions regarding your bond and or court dates?
No.
Have a good day.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you, Your Honor.
What's your name, ma'am?
Clarissa Battle.
Calling case number 24044074002. Peterson, Michigan versus Clarissa Battle. Appearances, please.
Samuel A. Ragnan for the people, Your Honor.
And Ryan, PA 3665, on behalf of Ms. Battle, we waive the reading. Ms. Battle stands mute. She's been advised of her rights.
The court is not guilty plea on behalf of Ms. Battle. Argument, Mr. Ragnan.
Yeah, this is a very assaultive matter where the complainant was unputting his kids from a vehicle when one of the defendants, David Jackson, I believe is the husband of this defendant, was going at a fast rate of speed. He asked him to slow down, and when he did that, he became irate and started yelling at him, and then he left. In fact, he started assaulting him. I take that back. A short time after that, the defendant came back with Mr. Defendant David Jackson, and said, "Think you can do that to my husband?" I don't know what that is, but the point of it is she starts swinging at the victim, and the other defendants start swinging a silver baseball bat with black tape on it. And then at that time, defendants Priscilla Battle, David Battle, Donald Jackson, Lakeisha Daniels, and David Jackson all got into it and start beating up this complainant, Your Honor. Serious injuries to him, put him in a chokehold.
I get that, Mr. Ragnan.
This defendant, I think, is the one who led that whole situation get to where it did. So we're going to ask for a $5,000 10% bond, Your Honor, I think. And we're also going to ask for a GPS tether with home arrest and not near, I don't know if her residence is near this person or not, the complainant, but certainly not in the same area. Let's see, Carissa Jackson.
Thank you, Mr. Ragnan. I get the argument.
Maplewood.
Judge Murad. On behalf of Ms. Battle, I'll just advise that she's 47 years old. She's been in Detroit her whole life with no prior criminal history, no pending matters, no probation, no parole. She's not employed. She's within the poverty guidelines. She's diabetic, suffers from other issues too. She's not received her insulin, she indicates. She also indicates that she was arrested at the 10th precinct trying to make a police report herself. Looks like there's a lot going on here. It is a misdemeanor. It's the only charge that I'm aware of. I'm going to ask for personal bond. This is from August last year. I don't have any contact between the parties. I think personal bond and no contact is appropriate in this matter, and that's what I'd ask for.
One clarification, Your Honor. He does have an assault with a deadly weapon on 11/23/15 and a domestic violence case, but that's been a while ago. So I'm just concerned about the welfare.
Was that a criminal convictions?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Thank you for clarifying.
It showed that.
You believe so?
No, I got to tell you, on PBK, it said this case. I looked for cases, convictions.
Okay. Mr. Ragland, quit while you're ahead.
All right, I will. I shouldn't even have mentioned that. I withdraw those
I'll
statements.
let you say that. Mr. Ragland, let me rule. Court having heard argument as to bond, $5,000 personal bond, no contact with the complaining witness, don't possess any handguns, firearms, or dangerous weapons. Pre-trial, March 7th, in front of Judge Bryant. Any questions, ma'am, regarding your bond and/or court dates?
No.
Have a good day.
Thank you, Your
Have a
Honor.
good weekend, everybody.
Thank you,
We're
Your Honor.
not doing Macomb County, Your Honor.
I'm sorry?
We're not doing Macomb County.
No, they're gonna get rescheduled.
Okay. Well, thank
Okay,
you very much.
DDC, anybody about the timeout?
Not the way around, Don.
Okay, that's all I need to know. Have a good weekend.
You too, sir.
Thank you,
Bye,
ladies.
have a good
Bye-bye.
weekend.